right, so it's June, so it's Men's Mental Health Month,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought you'd be a great example to come in, talk a little bit about what you've gone through, your past, how things have changed since you've been here at Live1 and things you've done prior to coming to Live1. But before we get into any sort of conversation, can you tell us who you are, where you're from, if you're cool with it, like what you do today for a living, and a little background on yourself?
I'm Brad Domalski, 41 years old. Currently live in Bay City, Michigan. I moved here about 10 years ago from Toledo, Ohio, where I lived for 30 years and decided I needed a change. And I had to get away from things that were not right in my life.
Yeah, good. So we'll kind of just jump right into it. Like I said, I thought your story's kind of cool, which, like we've discussed, wanted to have you on here because there's a lot of other guys out there, a lot of men our age. I'm 45, you're 41, you mentioned, our age and younger, that are dealing with depression, mental health issues, suicidal thoughts, all that. And again, it's Men's Mental Health Month, so let's discuss it, put it out there, and maybe one guy will hear this and be like, oh, you know what? I feel this way. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll do whatever they suggested. Maybe they'll get some, I don't know, vision of clarity or a thought to take or help themselves or take a step in the right direction. Yeah. So if you're cool with it, tell us a little. You don't have to go in super detail if you don't want to, but before coming to Live1, how are you feeling? What was life like for you as far as this topic we're speaking of? And then, like, how did you hear about us and what ultimately made you come in?
Okay. My life of depression started at a young age. I was in fifth grade, and the star quarterback of our football team in elementary school, and star baseball player, was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So 10, 11 years old, we watched one of our really good friends pass away from a disease that they couldn't stop. So that was rough. And then my parents split up when I was 13, which didn't help anything. I had two younger sisters at the time, still do have two younger sisters. Dad was a hardworking blue-collar man, worked 6 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. When my parents split up, my mom moved out. She worked third shift in a hospital, so 7 at night till 7 in the morning. I'm raising my two youngest sisters in an apartment in a not great part of town. From there, I got a little older, barely finished high school. After high school, I ran into some people I shouldn't have been hanging out with and started a life journey of substance abuse and alcohol and illegal drugs, trying to escape the pain is about the best way I can put it. It's everyone thinks junkies and addicts and people with substance abuse issues that you're trying to chase the high, and the reality is you're trying to escape
something,
trying to run from the pain. And
a lot of people go to drugs, substance abuse. Other people go to other things, but it's still trying to escape the pain. Yeah.
So I spent 5 or 6 years in a pretty bad abusive relationship with drugs and alcohol, and I got to a low point in my life where I spent my 27th birthday alone by myself, bought a bunch of drugs. I had literally, at this point, I'm 5 years into being an alcoholic and substance abuse. I pushed all of my friends away. The only people that had like 3 solid people in my life that never left, regardless of how bad I got or how far I tried to run, they were always there. I'd push my family away. I never watched any of my 2 youngest sisters grow up. My dad would come over and visit. I wouldn't let him in my house because I lived like a junkie did.
Yeah.
I lived that life for so long. And my 27th birthday, I got to a point where I was alone. Everyone was gone. I pushed everyone out that cared. Those that did care, I hid. And I sat there alone by myself, getting high, ready to call it quits. And I looked over at the 2 dogs that I had. They were the best friends I could have ever asked for. And just staring at them with that unconditional love of them even seeing me how bad I was, that they never left my side.
Yeah, that's I don't want to share too much of mine because this is a talk with you today, but I've shared some of my story with you. Very, very little. I've been through 5 to 7 years, I would say, of just very low times. I won't say what I've tried to do and what I did, but my dog twice kept me from completing a task. We'll just say that because of his look. And I took him to a park that I would take him to all the time because it was a little outside of town and there was trails in the woods where I could let him off the leash. He'd just run and smell and pee and run, and I just walk and he'd just do his thing. And again, I won't get into the details, but the one day where, you know what, not thinking clearly, because you're not thinking clearly in those times, it's I call it just I'm blacked out. Took him out there because my cool thought or smart thinking was, I'll take him out there. He likes that place. I'll, do what I'm going to do to myself. Someone will find him, take care of him, and he'll be okay. That's all I cared about was him being okay. And 99% of the time, every time I took him out to that park, as soon as I let him off the leash, he's gone doing his thing. That day, I took him off his leash. He sat down, stared in my face, and like he knew. So the dog thing, that unconditional love thing, I'm never was an animal person until my dog Mac, who I just lost a couple months ago, unfortunately. But yeah, dogs are man's best friend, and they help out more than people realize, for sure. And your case and my case, like perhaps we wouldn't be here without them.
A huge reason of why I'm still here.
Yeah.
And after that night, I was dead set on joining the 27 Club, which was, all the famous rock stars that all OD'd or, took their lives on their, in the year the 27th year of being alive. That was my goal. And that night I was ready, but my dog stopped me.
Yep.
I knew that if I didn't show up for them, there weren't many people that were going to show up for me. My family would have eventually came looking. The first person that would have came looking was work. Like, where are you at? And then, it would have been too late at that point. But I got past that day, and I knew that I needed to make a change. I knew that if I didn't stop what I was doing, I was going to end up, I had 2 places I was going to end up. It was going to either be prison or a gravesite. Yeah. And I wasn't ready for either of those. So I busted my ass. I worked really hard. I had a job that was actually pretty decent. I got a lot of physical activity. I used to read electric meters. I did it for 7 years, so I'd walk 10 miles a day. It was a really great way to stay in shape. But I needed an outlet for all the money I was making. Like, my outlet was, I would get paid on Friday, I'd be broke by Sunday and have literally nothing.
Spending on stuff you shouldn't be.
Nothing to show for it. So, not too far before all this happened, I needed a 4-wheel drive vehicle for work, so I bought a Jeep Wrangler. I love that thing. And I realized that I've never been good with money. I know how to make it, I know how to spend it. And what I was spending it on was going to kill me. So I took all of my money that I was making. I made some really poor financial decisions that we'll discuss maybe at a different time. But all of that extra money I was spending on drugs and alcohol, I put right into my Jeep. Built this Jeep up with the goal of coming up to mid-Michigan, northern Michigan, and hopefully meeting some new people to hang out with. Because everyone back home that, wasn't the solid people in my life that I needed, they were all bad influences. And my thought was, if I can find a way to escape, go where nobody knows me, then I might have a fresh chance at a fresh life.
Start. Yeah.
So I dumped all this money into this Jeep, and it turned out to be one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. after a couple years of, building up this Jeep and meeting new people, coming up to, St. Helen and, Grayling and going trail riding with a great group of people, I met my wife through our Facebook group, through our Jeep club. And we didn't meet each other the first day we were out. It took a couple months of, chatting online, back and forth through Facebook Messenger. And one night she's like, I was supposed to come meet her and two of her friends. We were going to go to Snowfest in Frankenmuth. Well, she was a little antsy. She's like, let's not wait for Snowfest. Why don't you come up, a couple weeks beforehand and we'll get to know each other. So nervously, I packed my two dogs in my Jeep, packed an overnight stay or overnight, clothes, change of clothes. No plan as to if this doesn't work out, what am I going to do? I'm, 2.5 hours away from home. It's not a quick ride home, but it's doable. Came, met her. We talked all night long till like 4 or 5 in the morning. Fell asleep. Asked her if I could, sleep on the couch, and she was cool with it. And the rest is history. I haven't, we came to visit, or I came to visit every week. And after about a year of back and forth, I was ready to leave my job. And she told me that, I had a few skills. She says, why don't you try moving up here? I'll help you get started in whatever you want. So I took up welding because I was, kept breaking my Jeep and got tired of paying people to fix it. So I learned a skill to save myself some money and make some money in the same time. And it turned out to be one of the greatest blessings that ever happened to me.
Oh, I think your wife is a client here as well, correct?
Yes.
Is she the main force that made you come in?
I wouldn't say she's the main reason I'm here. Yeah. She never once, in the 11 years we've been together, she's never once forced me to do anything that I wasn't ready to do. She came here after having a hysterectomy. Her hormones were all out of whack. She was feeling like crap every single day. There's 30, 31 days in a month. She'd be lucky to feel good for 3 or 4 of those days. So she came here after having her hysterectomy, got her hormones in check, and I saw just, in a couple week time of what that did to her outlook on life and how it changed her. And I realized that I'd only be cheating myself and my wife if I didn't look into doing the same thing for myself. And here I am 10 months later. I have never felt as good as I do now.
Yeah. That's a big part right there, what you just said, what a lot of people don't realize, and what we see here working at LIV1, when the married couples come in together, especially, how the other partners, obviously their energy, how they carry themselves, their health, how it affects their partner. And we have a lot of, usually the wife comes in first because women take care of themselves more than guys do. They come in and they start feeling better and they start, bugging the husband to come in, and then the husband finally comes in, he starts feeling better. We have seen relationships improve immensely simply because now they have better health and feel better. Mm-hmm. Not that they went to marriage counseling, anything like that. It's like they're more connected with themselves. They can be the person they want to be. They can give themselves more to their partner. So taking care of your health, like mental health as well, and physical health, is not just about being healthy. I mean, it infiltrates your entire life, your work, your relationships. And as a man, I try to preach this to the younger guys I talk to. It's your responsibility to be the best version of yourself for your partner, for your kids, for your whatever it is in life. Like, you're supposed to be the best version of yourself. It might take some time to get there. Might be a struggle. Might take who knows how long. But as long as you are striving for that, you're doing your job.
Absolutely.
So let's get more into maybe nitty-gritty LIV1 stuff. You saw how your wife improved. You started coming here. You feel better now than you have ever.
I've never felt this.
Obviously, you've made healthier lifestyle choices as far as diet and food. I know you focus on protein. Mm-hmm. Again, because it's the men's mental health thing, how would you started on testosterone when you came here.
Yep.
How would you relate that to how you feel now? And what were the early things perhaps you felt or saw when it came to starting on testosterone therapy?
Before I started, I mean, you know, I'd come home from work feeling defeated and would literally just try and crawl into the couch
And survive, yeah.
and hide. I was living to exist, which is a terrible, terrible way to go through life. If all you do is wake up and just try and make it to the next day, you're already setting yourself up.
You're
for
surviving, you're not thriving.
failure. Correct.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was, you know, brain fog, tired, no motivation, just felt like crap in general. And, you know, I live a pretty healthy life, and to feel as awful as I did with no, you know, major illnesses.
Yeah,
or
you think you're doing the
diseases,
right things, but
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, yep.
And
A lot of
you
guys
know,
are like that.
you know, everyone says like, you know, oh, you know, once you hit 40, you slow down. Like, man, that's the furthest thing from the truth.
You're in your prime right now.
I am a firm believer that the first 40 years are practice now,
100%. Yeah.
and you know, the next 40 years are what you've set yourself up for.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine living the life that I did a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have survived it.
Do you care if I share some of your numbers?
Go ahead.
So when we talk testosterone, a lot of guys think, oh, they're just pumping them full of this every day, and the numbers are skyrocketing. They think, you know, there's still the misnomer out there when we talk about testosterone. People think about steroid use with bodybuilding. Not the case. We're on testosterone replacement therapy. We're taking your levels to where they should be at our age. So you're on 150 milligrams per week, as am I. It's basic dosage. It's, you know, not too high. 200 milligrams per week is kind of the top for most TRT protocols. We're both at 150. And your numbers, if I can relate it, what's in your lab work, your starting number, I think, was 600.
Yeah.
You weren't super low, but you were having symptoms and issues. And your trough number, meaning for those that are watching, when you get your blood work done, you usually come in on the day that you would be doing your injection, which is so your lowest day. So you don't inject before blood work, you do it after. And your trough numbers now are 900. So pretty good. So you're probably walking around at about 1,100, 1,200,
Okay.
which is where a man should be in our 40s. So I won't get into the whole like what the environment's doing to us now and the microplastics and all this stuff that is, because men's testosterone has been on a decline for decades now. But about 1,000 to 1,200 is really where we should be walking around in our 40s.
Yeah.
And for those of us that are, we feel that, and we feel better, we feel good. And, you know, again, it's not, we have very different physiques. You know, your body stats started at 176 pounds when you first came in. As of 4 months ago, you were 189. What are you today?
Right about there, like
About the same, 190.
Yeah.
Your muscle mass, you increased muscle mass by 12 pounds. You put on 12 pounds of muscle since you've been here. So I'm sure a lot of that has to do with testosterone. Body fat, you're super lean. You started at 13%. You're out 9% now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same dosage per week. And it affects people differently. You know, I'm 250 pounds. You're 190 pounds. Will you ever get 250 because you're on testosterone? Depends on how much you eat. But
I'm hoping
yeah, and that might not be good for your frame, but it's just the misnomer, I think, where, oh my God, he's on testosterone, he's cheating. It's not for that.
No.
Like, for you, the mental improvement that has happened is why I want to talk to you today, because of the Men's Mental Health Month, because, again, everyone thinks testosterone, always doing that for muscles in the gym. That is an extra added benefit, but it is how you feel throughout life, coming home from work, you don't feel defeated.
No.
And maybe I'll have you say it, because I think Jessica told me this is what you said. Something about how you never knew you could feel this way, or you're not suicidal anymore. Like, the fact that, you know, it's not just coming here, but the other outside lifestyle changes you made, then adding testosterone to that has taken you from, I'm sure you still deal with it once in a while, like we all do.
I have
But-
bad days every once in a
Yeah.
while, but they don't stick around.
What give me, if you could put it into a number, a percentage of time now that your mind gets that state versus before in that depressive state.
God, I mean, we'll start with the before. It was on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's like what did I sign up for?
What's the point?
Why am I still here, and what is my mission that I need to accomplish?
My thing was always like, what's the point? What is
Yeah.
the point of all this, right?
And I've always made the joke to, like, you know, if I get hurt bad enough, it just becomes somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And that's also a terrible way to look at life. But, you know, it used to be like a daily thing. It was like, I want to disappear. I want to crawl into a dark cave, and I want to just make it through the next day. Now I wake up, I mean, still tired because I, you know, work really hard, but I wake up and I look forward to each day. I look forward to, you know, my testosterone. I look forward to taking all my supplements. I look forward, which is, I've never ever thought I would say this, but I actually look forward to going to the gym now.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
When we first, you know, started, because we didn't start the fitness aspect until it was like mid-December. I was like, this isn't for me. This is, you know, a waste of my time. I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna get any benefits. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, walk around looking like I'm Brock Lesnar or any, you know, bodybuilder like that. And now I realize it's the sense of accomplishment.
And you still work out consistently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you started the package that you were on, we only had a very short, brief time together.
Yeah, we had 2 months.
And that was, man, that was a while ago. And you've been on your own, consistently working out.
February was about the last time that we stopped, because you let me put it on pause for some of my dental surgeries that I needed to have. I just finished up the last one last Thursday. Get my stitches out next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but a week from Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to getting right back at it.
So I'll make a plug real quick for testosterone, because now, is that the magic fix for everyone and every person? No. It's an extra added benefit that can potentially help someone improve their mental state. Yes. But like I said before, like, it's not only for muscles, gym use, physique aid. It really, like I've said earlier, it helps a man become a man, and then gives you that drive and motivation to make those other changes that need to be made outside of the physical health. Because yes, we should all take care of ourselves physically, eat right, exercise, all that. I know a lot of guys that really just don't have time. They are so busy, but you still have to make those other changes, which is a healthy diet, work on your mental health, whether it's by yourself or talking to someone, or I don't know, but definitely if you are a guy out there that is dealing with depression, you know, more than just, especially if it's an everyday thing, you have those deep, dark thoughts, suicidal thoughts, like, and you think you've tried everything, you'd be surprised what coming in, getting your blood work done can do for you, because who knows, you might, you know, end up in your position where you were low of the lows, and now you're happy to wake up every day and move forward and make progress.
And it's crazy because, like, you know, when I moved to Michigan, I was 2 years clean. I just celebrated 13 years sober.
Nice.
On my birthday.
Congrats.
But I moved to Michigan. I was 160 pounds, 165 pounds, due to drugs and alcohol and, you know, walking 50 miles a week. And I stopped doing everything. I recently cut out alcohol from my life. Not sure if it's a forever thing, but I know it's not anything that I want on a daily basis or even a weekly basis
you can
anymore.
Control it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, being someone who dealt with, you know, alcohol dependency, now if I have a drink, I don't have more than 2.
No.
I had a problem with not being able to stop myself. But I moved up here, I was 165 pounds, quit walking, shot up to like 210, and then just through eating healthy and, you know, I never worked out until we got together back in December.
Yeah.
But just through eating healthy and helping my wife watch, you know, what she eats, together we lost almost 70 pounds. I lost like 35 pounds, literally by watching what she was
making
eating.
better food choices.
Mm-hmm.
It's not rocket science. A lot of people think it is, but
we are what we consume.
100%.
Whether it's food or drinks or social media, music, the people in your life.
You are a product of your choices for the past however many years. You're a product of your environment. And I think my biggest motivator for myself, but I know this has been said to be like one of the biggest regrets on people's like deathbed is you look back and you realize that you didn't reach your potential. And again, not to hone in on just the testosterone, but as a man, that is the hormone that makes you a man. And to go through life, the men that come in here, I've seen it. I mean, their levels are 90. They're 100. They're just low. And what if they never came in? They could do everything else as correctly as possible, but because of that one thing, they will never reach their true potential. And that can affect them mentally and of course physically. But yeah, you are now, I would assume, reaching your potential. You're on the way. What is potential? I don't know. It's always a raising ceiling, I think. But to look back and regret and be like, shit, I didn't do this. I should have done that and never reached my potential is, I think, one thing that keeps me going, especially since I have a kid in my life now. I want to be the best version of myself for him. He doesn't get it right now at 10 years old by any means, but I think teenager, 18, he'll start to understand it. I've even, not to get off track too far here, but I have actually apologized to my parents in the last few years since I had a boy in my life, so I'm a stepdad, and understanding what the parent life is like now and what sacrifices you have to make and how things go about when you have a kid in the house. I've actually apologized to them for certain things where like, oh, this is why you did that. I get it. And I know I was like this. I apologize for that. I understand now. But again, it's a little off track there. But it is, doing what needs to be done, everything you can to reach your potential. And that's another reason we're sitting down talking like this, so we can put this information out there, because some guys really don't know this isn't even a thing. They don't know LIV1 exists. They don't know testosterone therapy exists. And I think a lot of people say there's no way, but you would be surprised the people that come in here, they have no clue. They just have no clue what protein is, what is blood work, what are these markers. Like it's cool to educate them and see them like understanding that to help them make better choices in their own life. And again, get closer to their potential. I'm sure you've learned a lot coming here when you meet with Jessica with those consults, which are very in depth.
Very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And life-changing.
You learn more about I tell people, you learn more about your physiology in that first 90-minute consult than you ever probably thought imaginable. But it is a lot of information. Our blood panels are huge. So again, talking about testosterone, since you've started it and your numbers have gone up, you started feeling better physically, mentally. Was there a point in time that you actually like felt something like, oh my God, this new? Was it like a quick thing, or was it a slow progression as far as feeling better? And then on top of that, does anyone in your life, your wife, coworkers, other people, friends, family, have they said to you like, hey, I can see a change. I noticed a change in you physically or emotionally, or how you carry yourself?
It was literally within like 2 or 3 weeks where I first noticed that I was feeling different. And it was shortly after I started, Jess had reached out to me just to check in, seeing how everything's going. And I vividly remember the conversation we had where she was asking, how's everything going? Are you, any help, anything we can help with? And I remember telling her that I didn't know what it was like to feel this good. I didn't know it was allowed to feel this good.
Yeah.
Without the use of illegal substances.
Yeah.
And it has been a game changer.
I don't think a lot of people know what it is to feel good.
No.
To not feel run down and in pain and sickly every day.
We're conditioned, I remember watching my dad, celebrating his 40th birthday, and everyone had, over the hill balloons and, all the cards. That's and
such
shit
a
like
horrible cliche thing that we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you're raised to think that, 40, 45 years old, your body just naturally slows down, and maybe it does, but without the testosterone or, the supplements, the, working out, showing up for yourself, showing up for your family, like everything compacted together or compounded together just makes life that much more enjoyable.
You probably responded quickly because some people are hyper responders. So if people are watching this, guys, obviously I recommend getting blood work checked and testosterone checked because who knows what it can do for you, but don't think, 2 to 3 weeks will be good. Not always the case, because you had made a lot of changes prior to coming here and starting testosterone as far as a healthy lifestyle. So that
eating healthy is a huge factor.
Yeah.
Like we very rarely go out to eat. I worked in a restaurant for 10 years when I was younger, and sadly I can prepare restaurant quality food at home. So for us going out to eat, it's either a mom and pop dive diner or dive bar, or we're going to a fancy steakhouse where I can cook the steak, but I'm not about to go spend $100 on a ribeye to prepare myself. The eating healthy, cutting out processed food, trying to I make as much food as I can. Like I've gotten to the point where I'm even making my own brown sugar. And my stepmom was like, "Why? How do you make that?"
And you have a full-time job, right? Do you have kids? You said
we are child free by choice.
Okay.
Amy never wanted children. I knew the type of child that I would have been given if I were to be a father. The world's not ready for that individual.
No, I was going to get to the point, but a lot of people use their family and their work as an excuse, which I get it. Like, we're busy. Like, I have a full-time job. Jess has a full-time job. We have a 10-year-old boy, even though it's only 1 week on, 1 week off. But the sports and the schedule and the weekends is crazy. But we still make it to the gym. We still do our food prepping. We still eat healthy, and part of our, I don't want to say issue, but our routine, because of the certain situation that we're in, our 10-year-old goes to school an hour away.
Okay.
So before work, one of us is driving an hour up to school, an hour back, start work all day, hit the gym, pick them up. So yeah, no excuses, basically, is what I'm getting at. Yeah. It can be done.
It's difficult to try and squeeze it all in.
It is difficult, but life's hard.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to feel better, look better, be better, suck it up sometimes, right?
The days that I come home from work and don't feel like going and investing an hour in the gym, I'll do 20 minutes of like a full body weight workout, whether I'm trying to do as many push-ups as I can, or body weight squats, and just trying to show up.
You're moving, you're being active, you're using your body. Is there a specific instance or person that happened or occurred where they're like, you're different? Like, what's going on? Did that ever happen since starting the testosterone, or, like you've mentioned before many times, are you feeling the best you've ever felt?
My bosses have noticed it.
Yeah.
My change in attitude, the fact that I smile more. Like,
that's a big one.
Smiling is literally one of the easiest things you can do, and I'm currently dealing with, having dental bone grafts to improve my smile and keep my teeth, which between the dentistry and LIV1 together, you guys have changed my life. And you gave me the platform to do all this.
Yeah.
I show up for myself every single day.
No, that's...
You guys aren't there holding me accountable. I'm sure you would love to be with all your clients.
Say that one more time.
I show up for myself every day.
You show up for yourself every day.
Every day.
Now, it took you a minute to get here, but that's what it takes to continue moving forward.
Years of practice.
Yeah, showing up for yourself every day. I like that. Yeah, because I tell every guy I work with, but it applies to women as well. We are in our prime from 25 years old to 55 years old. Nothing really slows down if you're doing the right stuff until 60, early 60s maybe. Metabolism is still strong, and you can still build muscle into your early 60s. But like you mentioned earlier, that over the hill thing that we do at a 40th birthday, that's got to stop.
Garbage.
That's got to stop. That is such a mental thing we do to ourselves. Like, 40, it's down. Like, no, it's not. You're just getting started. Yeah, I was very athletic. I did college baseball, did all the sports, Olympic weightlifting, held state records, blah, blah, blah. I was 180 pounds when I was 36, 37. And that's kind of when I started testosterone replacement therapy. Now, we all have different goals. I'm just sharing a little bit about this. I was very unhappy with my physique, very unhappy with how I looked. Yeah. I was always the smallest one in my group of friends in high school, on the sports teams in college. I was in a fraternity that was known for being the meatheads.
Okay.
Which is cool. We had a lot of big dudes, but I kind of like, awesome guys, but I always felt out of place because I was teeny tiny. I was a small dude. But yeah, I started testosterone replacement therapy around 36 years old, 37. I'm 45 now. Started to learn how to eat correctly, learn what macros were, learn how to actually truly, body build, not that I compete, but work on building a physique more efficiently. And, I'm 250 pounds now, which, that's not trying to put that out there as a flex, but it's a goal that I had.
Yeah.
It's, I've overcompensated with tattoos and beard and muscles because of my childhood feeling like insecure and not enough, but testosterone helped. It definitely helped.
Absolutely.
And when I tell some people what I was doing before, sorry, because we said earlier, we're both 150 milligrams a week. Now I've kind of upped mine a little bit. I play around with it sometimes, depending on how I feel. That's just me. I don't recommend doing that. But I was only at 120 milligrams for a long time, which is a fairly low dose. And that's all my body required. But it can help in so many different ways. It's not just about the physical. But for me, that physical change helped my mental change immensely.
It's a springboard.
I was such a, how do I put, like, I would come off confident, but extremely insecure inside. Extremely, when I was just what I look back at like a runt. Because it just, for me, it didn't mesh. It wasn't didn't felt like who I was meant to be. This teeny tiny little insecure guy. And that's just not what I prefer. And I tell a lot of my guys that I'm working with when it comes to training, you need to, what is your avatar? Like, what is the character you want to be? Like, what do you want to look like? Is it 250 tattooed muscle? Then work on that. Is it 190 lean shredded? Then work on that. But find the ideal version of yourself that you want to be, and we work towards that.
Yeah.
Mine was like getting bigger. And yes, testosterone helped with that. But again, I'm not saying that to promote it for, building muscle, but the mental health that helped me, I came out of the depression I was in. That helped. That wasn't the only thing, but once I got to obviously more confidence, and not fake confidence, like real confidence. I can talk to anyone. I've spoken in front of groups of hundreds of people many times. You just have a more improved outlook on life when you have that confidence. And again, I say that because I talk to so many guys on a daily basis with the low testosterone that they don't even realize. And you can pick up on that lack of confidence.
Yeah.
It is palpable.
Absolutely.
They won't look you in the eyes. They're kind of looking away. They're hunched over. And we have a gentleman, I wish I could bring him in here. Maybe someday we'll have him in here. He started 90. His testosterone was 90. Wow. And he's a large individual. He's 6'4", was 300 plus pounds. And he would literally come in. He wouldn't make eye contact with anyone, head down, rolled just I don't know, just almost like a child. He wouldn't speak much. He'd have his wife speak for him primarily. Yeah. Now he comes in by himself. He's postured up. He has lost weight. He looks you directly in the eye. His confidence is through the roof because he's now more happy with his physical self. So the physical and mental go together.
They go
right
hand in hand.
Yeah. So again, big reason I want to talk to you today was because it's Men's Mental Health Month and your mental health has greatly improved. So a question for you. For the men listening right now who feel stuck, who are maybe going through things that you've gone through, what I've gone through, overwhelmed, like there's nothing to live for, is there anything you would want them to hear as far as your journey to now, what's happened here, etc.?
Which camera do I look in? Go get your blood work done. It changed my life. It'll change yours too. I was very skeptical. I figured I had a chemical imbalance. I've tried antidepressants. I've tried everything. Now testosterone replacement therapy has literally changed my life, and it can change yours too.
Nice. Oh, I like that. Thank you. Yeah, testosterone, you'd be surprised how it affects the brain. We need it for brain health as well.
I didn't realize how much it affected, or how much it was affecting me having low testosterone numbers, and now having them at a fairly...
And they were low for you.
Yeah.
Like if you were to go to your PCP, your original number, you'd be like, no, you're good, you're fine.
Yeah.
You would just, nope, you're fine, you're good. We can't just go off the numbers.
Push the Zoloft and the Wellbutrins on you, and I've tried those. They didn't work. They made me feel worse. Not that, just don't stop taking your medicines if you're taking
them. Yeah, that might work for some, right?
But, man, get your blood work done.
Yeah. Like Jess says all the time, what you've done, what we do here is the inside-out approach. Fix the inside, the outside will follow. Again, your mental clarity, just how you approach life.
I've talked to my best friend. He lives down in Cincinnati. Told him, I only see him a couple times a year. when I showed up last December was the first time I had seen him since I started TRT. And I walked in, he's like, "You look fantastic." I'm like, "I feel even better than I look, man."
Yeah, awesome.
And he just went and got his blood work done. I'm not sure, where he's at down there or what practice he's going through. But he went and got his blood work done. He's waiting on his numbers, and I think he's going to start this too. And I mean, just having a solid group of people you can depend on, and having a group of people that care about you, and they only want your best interest in life, is worth.
It's needed, and it's valuable if you have
worthwhile.
it. Yeah. When it comes to, because again, testosterone still, we're fighting an uphill battle where it has misconceptions. A lot of people think it's cheating, with whatever that means. We're not professional competitive athletes. It's to prove our health. The cheating thing, like, just people don't really understand what it does, how it works, and why men need it as far as this time in the world and things like that. For you, because I have a lot of guys that they do need it, like based on their numbers and their symptoms, they need it. But they're apprehensive because, number one, it's a lifelong therapy, or at least it should be. And number two, they're afraid of, and they say, "I'm afraid of the injections." Now, there's cream. We do testosterone cream for some people. That's just better for some. I've always done injections. You do injections.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a deal is it for you to do an injection 3 times a week? And what would you tell other guys if that's their only roadblock? Like, ooh, it's lifelong, it's inconvenient. What would you say to them?
I mean, it takes me 30 seconds to prepare my syringe in the morning, another 25 seconds to inject it. The first couple ones it's difficult. You're sitting there staring at a
Never
needle
done before. It can be, yeah.
Staring at a needle, and you're like, all right, now I got to stab myself with this thing. It's like I was first doing it in my thigh. Amy was helping me the first couple times. She went away on a business trip for work, and here I am sitting there with the loaded syringe in my hand. I'm like, all right, I got to do this. And went to go inject it into my thigh, and almost passed out.
Really?
Just from psyching myself out of it and into it.
Do you get lightheaded when you get blood work done?
No.
No, that's okay. Just doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was in the thigh. I'm not a very I don't have a lot of body fat.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of muscle at that point. So it was painful in my thigh, and now I've started doing it in my glute.
Yeah. Good.
And it's a lot easier. I don't really have. I kind of take my alcohol swab and prep the area, kind of look for where I need to aim at, and just swing. Yeah. And usually it's pretty pain free. Jess had, when I first came in, she's like, we offer the cream. Like, I work construction. I don't always have access to running water, and I spend a lot of time working in schools. And the last thing I need to do is get caught in a school parking lot rubbing cream on myself.
Yep.
So we went with the injections. It was very easy to get used to. After 2 or 3 times of doing it, it's a breeze.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I already know the answer to this, but the way that you feel now compared to what you felt like before, that 60 seconds of little discomfort 3 times a week, worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like my wife says, you'll have to pry these hormones out of my cold dead hands before I get them up.
It is surprising to me still, but again, I'm just used to it. I'm in the world. How many guys really are just kind of maybe afraid isn't the right word, but just apprehensive about injecting themselves a few times a week? Which I get it. It does become second nature. Like you can do. Yeah, I've done upper glute for years. Sometimes I'll switch to subcutaneous in the lower abdomen here. I don't feel anything at this point. It's literally 60 seconds or left. It's not a big deal. I tell a lot of guys just like taking an extra vitamin 3 times a week, or depending on what your dosing is. Some people do more, but yeah, it's not that big of an inconvenience for the benefits that it could potentially give you.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Invest that minute in yourself, and your life will be miles better, miles ahead of where you ever thought you could be. I never thought I'd be here.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd even make it this far in life.
No, well, I'm glad you came in. Glad you started this. Glad you are here.
Thank you, Tim.
Last
Glad you're still here too.
because again, this is to have other guys see this for the Men's Mental Health Month. You mentioned it before. You mentioned it when you came in today. I guess I didn't really realize this. Can you just real briefly explain the dentistry you've had and what the doctor has told you in the a brief synapse on the article as far as how that also can affect your mental health.
So I spent like 15 years not going to the dentist. Not because I was afraid. Uh, Drugs and alcohol make you do dumb things and make you put your body, you're the last priority in your life. Everything else, when you're, active substance abuse, getting your substance is what you're focused on.
Yeah.
I spent 15 years not going to the dentist. It was probably 2 years after I moved up here, so we'll say 8 years ago. I had some really bad teeth pain. I had some wisdom teeth that were not happy. Got those removed. Fast forward a couple years, went to a different dentist office now. Dr. Chelsea Mason, you and your father have literally changed my life. Doing bone grafts. I had an advanced case of gingivitis and periodontal disease to the point where my gums were starting to recede, and they were worried that my teeth were going to fall out. So I just completed my 4th round of bone grafts. I had an infected, abscessed molar that was removed, and the pain that I was dealing with having this molar that was infected, when he removed it, it was like having a sliver removed from my foot. It was instant relief. I've never felt better. And the last time I was at the dentist office, the periodontist doing the procedures was telling me he just got back from a conference where they're relating oral health to mental health. And he gave me an article, and it basically sums up like, your smile is the first thing people notice. And if you've got, a messed up smile, you're not happy with how your teeth look or even how your teeth make you feel, it can have a huge outreach on how you feel mentally.
Yeah.
You got bad teeth, you're not going to smile, you're not going to feel as happy, you're not going to, engage with people because you're worried that, oh my God, they're staring at my jacked up teeth. And I mean, it's a lifelong journey. And much like here at LIV1, I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, so you've done a lot to help your mental health, and it shows. Like when I'm talking to you on the virtual videos, and you are smiling and you are happy. That's something I want to work on, is smiling more. But I also, similar story. Once I came off my parents' insurance when I was 25 years old, maybe I shouldn't share this, but I didn't go to the dentist until Jess actually made me 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Luckily, fine, no cavities, no nothing.
Oh my.
But yeah, so saying that to tell the men out there, because I've been in healthcare 18 years now, chiropractically speaking, and now, through LIV1, and it is true. We as men, for the most part, we don't take care of ourselves until something's broken, wrong. We feel horrible, and then, okay, maybe I'll do this, try that. I am the same way, even though I've preached against that for my whole, 16-year chiropractic career. Like, be proactive. Always the practitioners are the worst patients, but men listening to this, definitely go to the dentist. You want to look good, feel good with your smile. But when it comes to your health, you got to start from the inside. So get your blood work done, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else. But again, we want to put this out there for Men's Mental Health Month. Get your testosterone checked. If you don't know what your testosterone is, and it's your free testosterone, it's your SHGB. There's a lot, as men at our age, 40s, your cardiovascular markers, your ApoB, things like that. Get your blood work checked if you haven't in the last, if you've never done it, definitely do it. But you should get it done at least once a year minimum. We do it here a little based on how much work we have to do with a client. Some packages are quarterly. I think now we've changed all our packages to quarterly the first year, just to make sure we fix as much stuff as possible in the first year, a little bit of an aggressive year, and then we move on to a maintenance type plan after that, which I think you're coming up to pretty quickly.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, long story short, you are a testimonial to what a lot of guys, I think, are going through and have gone through: depression, suicidal thoughts, the substance abuse. You've made the changes. You put in the work. Testosterone was a big part of it. Healthy habits was a big part of it.
Showing
And
up for yourself.
now, like you've mentioned many times, you feel better than you ever have before. And when Jess told me this, after your, I think, quarterly visit or whenever it was, very early
That was
on,
the first one.
where this client just told me that he didn't know he could feel this good, right? So I remember that. It was before I even met you,
Yeah.
but I didn't know I could feel this good. And we have had quite a few people say that same sort of thing. So again, I'll stop rambling, but I think you can agree, men, get your blood work done.
Yep.
Check your testosterone. It's a very simple, easy process. You'll get a lot of information and then go on from there.
The world is better with you in it.
There you go. All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.